So probably I don't have a guitar here to do that beautiful session which Pankaj and Vimalda did. No, that's okay. So, but yes, this is the book which I have come here for. This was launched in somewhere in January at the World Book Fair and was launched by My Books. We have amongst us, he is the managing director and CEO of My Books publication. So one single sentence about this team and this guy is that they're wonderful in all senses, because they support their authors like anything. From being a trainer, from being a coach, a life coach, to becoming an author, I have recently been signed up for a screenplay. I have just recently got an assignment wherein I will be writing a screenplay for someone. And that again has come through Mr. Chahan, who is the founder and co-founder of My Books publication. So I will begin with my book, the second book which I have written. This is a romantic thriller. The title of the book is I Think I Know You, Karunya Do I. Okay, so a lot of reviews have come up already on Goodreads and Amazon. You can see it on Amazon as well. This is a question. So who is asking this question? Somebody is asking this question. So probably somebody in the story who is probably the main character who's asking this question to somebody. So let me just read through few of the pages. I'll not take much of your time because I know there are a lot of people who are waiting for their turn. So it is something like this. So I'll begin with the first chapter. Karunya was at the New Delhi railway station, waiting eagerly to meet his brother, who was coming home after 3 years. His brother, a major in Indian Army, was posted for 3 years in Afghanistan as part of the UN peacekeeping force. He was arriving by train number 12429, Lucknow Delhi AC Express, from Lucknow to Delhi. He was actually back from Kabul last week itself, but due to some urgent meeting, he had to push off to Lucknow. The waiting hall was crowded with all sorts of passengers. With the platform ticket in his pocket, which he just managed to buy, he was looking for a bench to sit. Passengers were waiting eagerly for the arrival of their respective trains. Some were sitting on the benches reading newspapers, and some were just dozing off. A few were pacing up and down the platform impatiently. There was a huge rush at the tea stall, as if it was being distributed free of cost. Right then, a train stamped in. Train number 12229, Lucknow. It was 7:15 a.m. All of a sudden, there was commotion everywhere. Passengers started getting down and many more started getting into the train. There was huge rush at the doors of the coach. Absorbed in the commotion at the station, Karunya saw someone deboarding from coach A2. A girl hopped on to the platform. Dressed in ivory white attire, she was beautiful beyond words. She moved a few steps ahead, with her luggage to stand at a safe distance from the passengers rushing out of the door of the coach. Her phone rang. She received and said, "I'm coming." And she turned around to head towards the exit. Karunya yelled out, "Asma! Asma!" She turned around with an amazed look in her eyes and began scanning the platform. Who was that? Who called me? She thought. Karunya was spellbound by her beauty. A thin wisp of hair swept onto her face with a blowing wind. A perfectly crafted nose was placed in absolute symmetry with her deep, ruptured blue eyes. Her dark, thick eyelashes brushed her pink, soft cheeks every time she blinked. The bell-shaped jhumkas adorning her sea nymph eyes were like an icing on the cake. Karunya was so captivated by her enchanting beauty that he felt, I should have been a sculptor. What better than spending your entire life sculpting this mesmerizing beauty? Entranced with the beauty, he kept staring at her without batting his eyelids. Her lilac soft pouted lips with crimson lip paint were temptation beyond limits. Her public disposition with twine thin sculpted figure and saffron tint complexion defied any description. Her skin was flawless, like a newborn baby's. She was still scanning. Her crescent-shaped eyebrows inclined slightly as she saw him staring at her. But when she could not spot the source, she turned around and moved towards the exit. He yelled out again. He yelled out yet again, Asma. This time the reflexes were quick and she turned around instantly to check the source. Who's this, please? Who is this, please? Her eyes met his. No one else was standing as close as he was. Before she could evaluate any further, he called her again, Asma, and began walking towards her. As he moved in closer, she began to get more anxious. She was thinking, this is my first visit to Delhi. How? How in the world someone knows me by my name? She was in her own thoughts when he got too close and asked, Hi, are you Asma? She replied, Yeah, I am. But who are you? Sorry, but I am unable to recall. Karunya stood still, unable to explain. How and why did he call her? How in the world did he know her name? He was absorbed in his thoughts when she interrupted. Excuse me, mister. Do I know you by any chance? Do you know me? Puzzled, he said. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I really don't know how this happened. I'm feeling as if I've known you for ages, but I've completely failed to recall anyone called Asma. What? Are you nuts? Don't try to befool me. How is this possible? Don't try these dirty tricks on me, huh? I know your kind of people. She blasted off. No, I mean it. Seriously. Believe me. He said, whatever. Please excuse me. I have to leave. And she walked off. Left behind, standing still, he kept staring at her till she was out of his sight. Meanwhile, an announcement was made. May I have your attention, please? Train number 12429, Lucknow Delhi AC Express from Lucknow to Delhi, scheduled to arrive at 7:30 hours, is about to arrive on platform number 1. It was the same train his brother was coming in. About 5 minutes later, the train drew near to the platform, screeched and stopped. He saw his brother, Major Varunya Singh, getting down from the coach number A1. A well-built, tall, handsome officer with olive green Ray-Ban sunglasses. He looked absolutely magnificent. His charm was irresistible. Though it's been 12 years since he passed out of NDA, he was very much a ladies' man, even today. The girl still made a beeline and drooled over him. As he briskly stepped down the coach, Karunya was right outside the coach screen. Bhaiya! Finally, you're back. We all missed you so much. Karunya dashed towards him and the major hugged his younger brother tight and overwhelmed. Karunya explained, it's been 3 long years, Bhaiya, 3 lambe saal. An army orderly accompanying the major swiftly got down with Major's luggage and briefcase and after putting them in a trolley asked, Chale Sahib? As they moved towards the car parking area, his brother asked, so how is everybody at home? You have grown huge in these 3 years, you're fatty. You need to lose some weight. Come on, come with me from tomorrow morning, we'll go jogging. Bhaiya, please keep this army regime to yourself, huh? And your boys, please don't push me into all this keeping fit and all. I know this is a big fad these days, but I'm happy like this. I'm not that overweight. This is an athletic build, Bhaiya. I play enough volleyball to keep healthy. Come on, Bhaiya. You have come home after 3 years. Let's just enjoy, said Karunya. They soon reached home at Saket near PVR cinemas in South Delhi. The fondest of memories were the years spent in school bunking classes and watching movies at Anupam, which was later taken over by the PVR group. They were always scared of getting caught because they lived the closest to the hall. Karunya stayed with his parents, sister-in-law, nephew and his sister. Varnya had just got home and Tapan came rushing in excitement. Daddy! Daddy is home! Hearing Tapan shouting out Daddy, the parents who were excited waiting for their son rushed to the main entrance. They would be seeing their eldest son after 3 long years. Varnya's mother was already in tears at the mere sight of her son. Varnya went close, threw his bags on the floor and touched his parents' feet. His father asked, How was the journey, son? It was pretty fine, Dad, he said. Preeti, who was standing a mere few steps behind, was also in tears. His absence could be so painful, she realized only now. When he was right there in front of her, she realized how badly she missed him all these years. But now he was here, and her tears gave away to a beautiful, broad smile. Knowing that her in-laws were standing right there, they could not get close enough to hug each other. Varuna went inside, while Karunya and the orderly unloaded the luggage and the briefcase from the car. A little while later, they were all sitting on the dining table discussing the latest in their life. Aroma of the mouth-watering lunch prepared by their mother was irresistible. Varuna just could not control and started pouring rajma in his bowl and began tasting. Mr. Rajput asked, "So Varuna, how are things? I'm sure this posting was a tough one, huh?" "That indeed it was, but you know, it's always like this," said Varuna. "Hey Karunya, we could not speak about it, man, over the phone. You know how restricted we could speak over the calls. It was actually so difficult to get through to you people, and as and when I wished. Congratulations, man. You've been offered a job by Microsoft. I'd come to know of it last week itself, but the winding up was so hectic that I could not speak to you at length," said Varuna. "Thanks, Bhaiya. It's all because of you. Your encouragement has always worked," said Karunya. "What package and role have they offered?" said Varuna. "Bhaiya, the CTC is 20 lakhs per annum and my role is that of a software engineer." "Oh wow, 20 lakhs per annum? Bloody shit, this is an elephant-sized package. Even after putting 15 years of service, I'm nowhere near to your first salary, Karunya," said Varuna. Though he said this, but his happiness and pride was overboard. He was seeing his younger brother growing. "Bhaiya, you had promised me a gift. I asked for. If I get into NIFT." Tirinya jumped into the conversation. "Oh, of course, my chutki. I remember vividly. I had promised. Gentlemen always acknowledge the promise. Don't worry, I will surely fulfill," said Varuna. "But what is it that you want?" asked Varuna. "Bhaiya, I want to go on a trip to Paris for 7 days. All alone. That's one of the denied in." And everyone, including Tirinya, started laughing out loud. Amidst this discussion, somehow Karunya was still lost. He was feeling weird about that strange incident that happened at the railway station today. Karunya was to join Microsoft tomorrow. That's it.